So the men that prefer younger females, how are you feeling? And I'm not talking about the ones that currently in a relationship with them. Because if you're in a relationship, a successful relationship with that younger female, this doesn't apply to you. But I'm talking about the ones that lust after younger females, saying, oh, they have less baggage, which is true. How are those men doing? And how are the females that prefer younger males? Because one thing about me, I'm going to call out both genders. Because apparently, I saw a clip of Shannon Sharpe talking about how he was shaming virgin women, women that are not toxic, and he was like, he wants a sinner. Keep in mind that the power of the tongue is very powerful, very powerful. Because at this point, men are confused. Because I'm seeing, oh, we don't want single mothers, they come with baggage. We don't want older women because they come with baggage. But instead, you go pick up someone fresh out of high school, not mature, have OnlyFans, and let's talk about the young girls that don't have OnlyFans, because not every young girl have OnlyFans. But let's talk about the young girls that they think because they're pretty, attractive, no children, less less likely to have less sexual partners. But what you fail to realize is studies have shown that Gen Z in particular, they're not putting up with certain stuff. So for example, whereas millennials, baby boomers, and the other generations, they would stick with a job for 5+ years, Gen Z, no. They want more money. Majority of them are fresh out of high school, college, and expect to have a career that's paying 100K and up. So they have some unrealistic goals. But what I will say is that they're very goal driven, which is okay. But realistically, they want opportunities to just land on their lap. So then when people are saying that they want to date these type of people, I have to side eye because I know when I started working at FedEx, there was a young guy I was attracted to. Once he told me he was 19, I was like, yeah, that's not going to work for me because I'm in my early 30s. To me, I just don't want to have fun because I did that stuff in my 20s. So it just would not. And although, yes, he's over 18, but what people fail to realize is that the legal age to drink is 21. So if you're going to date somebody and they can't go into a lounge, or even if you take them to a restaurant, guess what? They can't even drink alcohol with you. So I'm trying to see what similarities or because opposites attract, yes, but I'm trying to see what else could you do with someone that's still in their teens? Because 19, you're still a teenager. Because if you go out, they can't drink. So what can you do with them besides have sex, talk, and whatnot? And not only that, more than likely, they're looking for sponsors. Because what men fail to realize is that you having a successful relationship with younger women, that might not work out. Let me tell you why. Kamora Lee Simmons. She met Russell when she was a minor, married him, After 18, divorced him in her 30s. Marcus Houston bashed my age range and said we have a whole lot of baggage, which I'm pretty sure there are women around his age or even 10 years younger than him that probably don't have much baggage, but that's not what he wanted. Now, him and the young girl separated after having 2 children. And I was young and I was attracted to older males because I was mature for my age and I felt like I didn't have anything in common with young men my age. So I went for the older men. But as time went on, a few of them tried to groom me. A few of them, one of them I want to say, I ended up having a child for. And after that baby was born, yeah, the relationship went sour. I mean, he's involved now, but before, the only reason why he hooked up with me because his partner could not have any more children and was not going to have any more children. So he was like, okay, let me find a young girl and have a baby with her. But my 20-year-old self was so naive and I thought that was cute. Thinking back now, I should have went to college, got my degree, and not be chasing after a 39-year-old. So there is some truth to that grooming. And there are men that'll say, oh no, that's not true. It is true. Because here's the thing. Men like to lead. They like to be in control. And control doesn't have to be a bad thing, but when you're supposed to be a provider and a protector and you find a younger woman, of course you're going to try to guide her. She's going to look for you for advice, especially if she doesn't have her father in her life. Yeah, she's going to be close to you. She's going to feed off your ideas. So I'm trying to understand why people think that, oh, grooming doesn't take place. It does. And I also know that Cher was being attacked. Tracy Ellis Ross was being attacked because Tracy Ellis Ross says she prefers younger. But here's the thing. She didn't specify how young. The woman probably talking about 10, 20 years younger. That's her preference. But I'm pretty sure Tracy Ellis Ross is not grooming. And I'm pretty sure she wouldn't go for somebody that's like 18, early 20s. I'm because she's pushing 50. So I'm guessing when she said younger, she probably meant somebody in their 30s. That's none of our business to try to find out what she meant by that because she was being interviewed. She answered the question, and that was it. She don't owe us a response. She don't. Now, as for Cher, from what my understanding is, Cher's boyfriend wanted her and pursued her. He's 37. And yes, Cher is almost 40 years older than him. Again, to some that may be gross, but she's not grooming him because he's 37. See, what people fail to realize that at age 25 is when the brain fully develops. So that's when you're supposed to be more mature. That's when you're supposed to be more situated because guess what? If you went to college, you would have graduated 3 years, 2 to 3 years after, depending on what age you went. So if you graduated at 22, 25, 3 years, you should be on your way of being established. We can't tell people what their preference should be because everybody's is their individual. I'm a firm believer of letting people make their decisions and You have to just look. You don't have to support, but you just have to look and see how it plays out. Because here's the thing with Shannon Sharpe, he was warned and they gave him some sound. Because the thing is, not everybody could give advice. You see, with advice, they could tell you don't do it, but they don't tell you why. And he was given a reason not to do it and the consequences. And these people weren't even coming from a place of jealousy. It was like, yeah, that's not going to work for you. And what's sad is that Chad, I can't pronounce his name, encouraged him to go for a well known actress. Her last name is Oriji. And I have her book. She stated that she was a virgin, and he was like, no. And we already know that if she was light skinned, curly hair, he would have said it. He would have said yes. So it has nothing to do that she was a virgin. It was like she did not meet his beauty standard. And it's like, when did having morals become an issue? Because a lot of times people and women do this too. Oh, I want somebody good for me and whatnot. And when you're introduced to them or you're around them, it's like, no, I want something. Like, why? I don't want anybody toxic around me. I don't. I have a lot to lose. I'm at the point in my life like I just don't want to be cleaning up an adult's mess. I don't want to be helping somebody financially, emotionally, no. Unless you're my husband or we're in a committed relationship. It's just that you just don't have time to waste. And as we could see that in our personal life can affect us, because some are saying, well, why should we care what people do in their personal life? As you could see with Diddy, he's sitting in jail, not getting out anytime soon. Because here's the thing, when your personal life affects other people, where when you're abusing them, your power, causing physical harm, threatening them, blackmailing them, these stuff are illegal. And the thing is, people that are millionaires, billionaires, you are held to a higher standard because guess what? You have power. With money comes that power. So, of course, people are looking and watching to ensure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. So when people are like, oh, we shouldn't care what people do behind closed doors, yeah, unfortunately, when you're in the public eye, you will face some scrutiny. I'm trying to understand why people think you should turn a blind eye. That's not how that works. You chose to be in sports entertainment. You chose to be in the public eye. It's going to come with some scrutiny. I'm not laughing at what's going on with Diddy, Shannon Sharpe, and many others, because here's the thing. You are given an opportunity that a lot of people would love to have, and you just destroy it just because you can. That doesn't make any sense to me, because best to believe, even on the job, I try my best to not have my manager tell me the same thing twice, because I don't want to get fired. I don't want to get written up. So I'm trying to understand, why do wealthy people think that they're invisible? We all didn't learn from Weinstein. You ain't learned from Epstein. You ain't learned from Bill Cosby. Like, these were men that were taken down eventually for their skeletons in the closet. And you couldn't learn from them, and you thought that you were invincible? Help me to understand that. There was a show called Scared Straight. There is a reason why that show existed, because that was to teach the young children If you don't clean up your act, that's where you will go, to prison. That's what your life will become. See, in life, there are people that are put in our lives because not everybody is a good example. And we were given discernment. And I just don't understand how adults just don't heed to it. I see we make mistakes, but after a while, when you make the same mistakes is a choice. You just don't care. I found that out in my early 30s. Not everything is a mistake. Usually it's like, yeah, we're going to do what we want to do and just worry about the consequences later. And even for me, certain things I've done in my past, I could have, like, for example, chasing men. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I would have focused on my career. Now in my 30s, I'm playing catch up. I wish I didn't extend myself giving money, resources, and time to people that didn't deserve it because now I'm playing catch up. But again, a lot of times, a lot of people don't sit back and reflect. It's like, oh, I want this. I'm invincible. That can't happen to me. And now look, like, was sex only lasts less than an hour? Like, that lust and intercourse and infatuation, was it worth the endorsement deals? Was it worth your career? Was it worth it? Like, no, it wasn't. And I will say that people who get into trouble, they need to stop talking and let their lawyer do the talking, because I can see why, and I'm not a fan of Beyonce, why Beyonce does not speak out against any rumors about her. Her mother Tina will. She'll reference songs, but she will not come out and publicly speak about any rumors. Because for what? For what? Because you can't address everything. There's just certain things you have to let people run with and then prove them wrong. Like, address what? Let your lawyer handle that. That's what a publicist is for. Because I feel like a lot of times, and I've got in trouble for this, when we speak, we just dig ourselves in another hole. Because it's like, oh. And as we could see with Shannon Sharpe, he has a history of being disrespectful to women. Because you choking a woman and having other allegations against you is not a very good look. Now, as for the accuser, I don't really like her either, because I feel like, why you didn't take the 10 million? You do not see how this economy is? Like, you're suing for 50 million? It makes me question your character, because it's like, and the fact that you continued a relationship for 2 years, it just makes me wonder. But yeah, females need to do better. And men, I'm gonna let you know this now, because I've spoken to some females, and females could be tricky. They can. I've heard some discussions, and I'd be looking like, wow, she's vindictive. But hey, when you have a beautiful face and a gorgeous body, men will overlook that toxic, and it's like, don't do it. It's not worth that headache. But I'm hoping that people in the public eye, men, women, will take heed to what's going on with their. Because yes, you have to be mindful who you associate yourself with. There's not everybody that needs to be in your circle. And I'm kind of seeing why rich people stay with the rich. They don't really associate with with themselves, with people beneath them. I see that now. Because now you have to worry about somebody extorting you. If you offend somebody, you have to worry about a lawsuit or your name being plastered in the tabloids. So I see why. their circle is very limited because when you have money, people are out to get you. They will extort you. So, yes, people are always watching. Be mindful. Your past will catch up with you. Thank you for listening.